that we are going to find in web applications. So the first vulnerability that we will be talking about today in this lecture is SQL injection. So to learn SQL injection, first we need to learn what is SQL. So let's have a look at the same. What is SQL? SQL stands for Structured Query Language, which is used to query data from the database. SQL helps web application in communicating with the database software to retrieve or store data from or in the database. Now, what is a database? Database is a collection of data stored by a website in a particular format. This data could be of all the application information like user information, messages, posts, etc. How to write a structured query language. So if you look over here, there is this table 1 which has following columns and some data in it. So if I want to fetch everything from this table, my command will be select star from table 1, where star stands for all the columns and table 1 is the table name. Now if I want to fetch only column 1 and column 2 from this table, in that case what will be our query? It will be select column 1, column 2 from table 1, and the output will be like this. It will give the result of all the data that is present in column 1 and column 2 as we have asked for it. Now let's look at table students. If I want to fetch details of a person whose ID is equal to 1, what can I write? What query should I use? I will use select star from student where ID is equal to 1. This query means that it will select everything from students, that is from this table where ID is equal to 1. So it will select everything that is with ID 1 and it will give us this output. In place of 1, I can also use the following. It will give me the same result. So all these below queries will give same result even if I use dash, inverted comma, bracket, dash with inverted comma and inverted comma. So these are the following methods via which we can comment out a query in our SQL injection. Let's look at an example. Suppose if you want to insert this query in your web application and fetch the data, then definitely there is some other code that is running after this query. So to comment out rest of the query, we will use comment over here, that is minus minus plus. So whatever is written after this will not get executed as we have put it in the comment part. What is SQLi? SQLi stands for Structured Query Language Injection. It is a type of an injection attack that makes it possible to execute malicious SQL statements. These statements control a database server behind a web application. Attackers can use SQL injection vulnerability to bypass application security measures. Once the attacker has bypassed the application security measures, he'll be able to extract the database and he'll be able to take control over database. They can go around authentication and authorization of a web page or web application and retrieve the content of the entire SQL database. Also, they can add, modify and delete records in the database. Not only this, an SQL injection vulnerability may affect any website or web application that uses an SQL database such as MySQL, Oracle, SQL Server or others. So, this is an example of a legitimate query. Over here, we have a website which is asking for username and password. For example, if the username is admin and password is 23, at the back end the query will be select star from users where username is admin and password is 123. But if we don't know the password, then also we can log in into this account if SQL injection exists in this website. So how can we do that? So this is the legitimate query that runs in the backend If I don't know the password, then also I can log in into the account. How? Look over here, we have injected SQL code, and that is -or-1 equal to 1. Even if whatever is my password, if this statement is true, which in this case will always be true, it will give me the access to the account and I will be logged in. Cause it is asking over here, password is equal to this or 1 equal to 1. If either of the condition is true, then I'll be able to log in. So as this condition is always true, so it will provide me the access to the account. What are the after effects of a SQL injection? First of all, we will be able to bypass login pages. We will be able to install web shells and have access to system files, and also we will be able to install backdoors and extract sensitive information and credit card details that are stored in the website database. So, union-based attacks allow the tester to easily extract information from the database. Because the union operator can only be used if both queries have the exact same structure, the attacker must craft a select statement similar to the original query. So now let's learn what is a union operator. The union operator is used to combine the result set of two or more select statements. Each select statement within union must have the same number of columns. The columns must have similar data types, and also the columns in each select statement must also be in the same order. If you look over here, we have a small query that is select column name from table 1 union select column name from table 2. This is the syntax of union-based SQL query. And note that the number of columns selected in first query should be same as the number of columns selected in the second query. This is the most important point on which the union query depends on. So as you can see over here, in our first query we have only one column, that is column underscore name, and in the second query as well we have only one column, that is column underscore name. When we are injecting SQL query in a web application, first we need to find the number of columns of the existing table in the website to inject union-based SQLi. And to do so, we use another operator, that is order by operator. Order by keyword sorts the records in ascending order by default. To sort the records in descending order, we use the dsec keyword. Order by operator is used to sort the result set in ascending or descending order. In the URL, just type order by 1, and if you don't get any error, then we'll move to the second part, that is we'll try order by 2, and we'll keep on repeating the same thing until we get an error. When you get an error, for example by trying order by 8, that is unknown order 8 in order clause, if you get such error, then we can conclude from this that there are only 7 columns being fetched by our first query. After that we can apply our union command. Let's see an example on a testing environment. So first of all, our first step is to determine whether SQL vulnerability exists in this website or not. And to do so, we'll put an apostrophe sign and check on submission if it gives an error. Yes, it has given us an error, so we can conclude that SQL vulnerability exists in this website. If you are not able to get any error using an apostrophe sign, then you can use / symbol. This will also provide you an error, like this. Now, we'll use our order by command. Let's try order by 1 first. So first of all, I need to put an apostrophe sign cause I have to close the existing statement. After that, I'll put my command. And also, I'll put hash. The reason for putting in hash is to comment out rest of the part that is in the query. If I don't do so, I won't be able to get the number of orders. Even if I try order by 100, order by 200, I will keep on trying, but I won't get the result cause I haven't used the hash and it is not eliminating and commenting out the rest of the query. Yes, as the page refreshes, we can conclude that column 1 exists over here. Now let's try order by 2. Same is the case. Now let's try order by 3. Finally, our website has given us an error that is unknown column 3 in order clause. So this means that only 2 columns are being fetched by our first query. See, if I'll just use order by 3 without using an apostrophe and hash, it won't do anything. So the reason we are putting an apostrophe and hash is that if you look over here, this part and this part is added automatically by the website. So to comment out this part, we have put a hash, and to close this part, we have put an apostrophe. So that's why we are using apostrophe and hash over here. Sometime we'll need to put inverted comma and sometime we'll need to put hash depending upon what error has been given by the website. So now, as we know the number of columns being fetched by our first query, we can apply the union-based command. Now, what is the next step? We have to find the name of the database schema by crafting a valid select statement, which will allow the attacker to list users tables and find their column names. And over here, if you look, it is a list of all the variables and functions that are predefined and are used in SQL injection. So if we'll type union select database with parentheses, it will show us the name of the current database. And if we want to know the current user, we will use this command. So after finding names of table and column, here is a list which we will be using in our SQLi. Information schema. It is a database name that is present in almost all the popular software. It holds the name of all the tables and columns of databases. Information underscore schema dot tables. It is a table inside information schema which holds the name of all the other tables. Likewise, information schema dot columns stores name of all the columns, holds the name of all the other columns. Then we have table underscore name, which holds the name of tables, and column underscore name holds the name of columns. And there is one more, that is table underscore schema. It holds the name of database the tables are associated with. Now in a testing environment, let's check what's the name of the database. For that, let's go to our testing environment. Now type apostrophe union select. As we know that 2 columns are being fetched by the first query, so we'll give name of only 2 columns over here. So we can write database parenthesis comma user with a hash. So it has provided us the name. First name is providing us the name of database, and the second surname is providing us user, that is root at localhost. So now as we know our name of a database, we can go further and fetch the number of tables. After finding the number of database, we will type this command to get the name of table, so that we'll get to know which table is there in our database and what information we need to fetch. Also, we'll inject another query which will provide us the name of column, as we also want to know about the column name. First, let's inject this query to know about the name of table, comma, union select table underscore name, comma, table underscore name again, as 2 columns are being fetched, from where information underscore schema dot tables. Okay, where table underscore schema is equal to
What was the name of our database? DVWA. And remember that this is case sensitive. If you'll put capital D over here, it will not show you the result. Now, hashtag. Let's look at this query again. So, what we are typing? Union select table name, comma table name 2 times from information schema dot tables, where table underscore schema is equal to the name of our database, that is DVWA. So now let's hit submit. Voila! It has provided us the name of table, that is guestbook and user. So now as we know the name of table, now it's time for us to fetch the column name. So a command will be apostrophe union select column underscore name 2 times from information schema dot COLU columns, where table schema is equal to, let's look at this query as well. So we are fetching column name from information schema dot columns, where table schema, that is our database name, is DVWA. Let's hit enter. Wow, the list is very long. So we have comment ID, comment, name, user ID, first name, last name, user, password, avatar, last login and failed login. These are the name of columns. So over here we need to check which all columns contain juicy data and are useful for us. So till now we have found the name of our database, table name and column name. Now it's time to extract some data. So over here, if you will see, user and password might contain some juicy data. So let's find out what does it contain. For that, our query will be apostrophe union select user comma password from, if you remember, we had two table names. One was guestbook and the other was users. So this data is stored in users. So from users hash. Voila! Finally we have got the data which we were looking for. This is the admin, which is the username, and this is password. Admin, password, admin, password. So this is how we make use of union command to extract juicy data. First of all, to understand this topic, we have to divide this topic into two parts, that is Boolean and blind. So what is Boolean in computer terms or in computer language? Boolean in terms of programming simply means true or false. So we might be asking the server to respond us either true or false values. And the second part is blind injection. These injections are used where we are successfully able to fetch critical data, but somehow the extracted data is not visible on the website, which may be attributed to how the website is built. So if we combine both of these parts, that becomes Boolean-based blind injections. So let's see how we can inject by asking server true or false question, and on the basis of the response we can extract crucial information. Let's have a look at an example. Suppose if we want to fetch name of a student from a website, we will simply use the following command, and that is select name from students where ID is equal to 1 to 1. It will provide us the name of the student whose ID number is 1 to 1. Now if we want to perform a Boolean based blind injection over here, our query will be select name from student where ID is equal to 1 to 1 and 1 is equal to 1. So if you look over here, as 1 is always equal to 1, which is a universal truth, the output will fetch the name of the student. So how is this injection different from others, as we are just extracting the same information in a different way? So now this example will clear your concept better. What if we use the following query, that is select name from students where id is equal to 1 to 1 and 1 is equal to 0. 1 can never be equal to 0. This means the output will be blank. So in such cases, Boolean-based blind injections comes into play. And this is how the query will look like. Select name from students where id is equal to 1 to 1 and get first character of password is equal to quote a quote dash dash plus. Look carefully over here. This time what we are doing, we are asking the server to tell us the first character as true or false. If the output shows the student name which we are asking, this means the password starts from letter A. But if the output is not reflected and we are not able to get the result, or we are not able to get the name of the student, then this means the password doesn't start with letter A. And we can proceed further in a similar way to fetch the complete password, and if there is no output, it means that the password must start with some other letter. So this is how Boolean-based blind injections are performed. What is a time-based blind injection? First of all, these injections are used in those cases where we fail to extract data either by using union or error-based SQL injection, and can neither ask a website question as true or false. This means we are also not able to perform Boolean-based blind injection. So in that case, to extract critical information, we tamper with the response time, the server response time. So what is the server response time? Whenever a request is made to the server, it takes some time to fetch the information and deliver it to us. This is called as response time. Now, if we tamper with this response time, we can extract some crucial information. Let's see how we can do so. Look over here. Let's take the same example. For select name from students where id is equal to 1 to 1 and if the first letter of password is equal to quote a quote, then sleep for 10 seconds. In this case, what will happen? We are asking the server to tell us the first character. If it shows the name of the student, then it will sleep for 10 seconds. Over here, what we are doing, we are just asking the server to tell us the first character of the password. If the password starts from A, the server will sleep for 10 seconds, which means increase in response time by 10 seconds, and the name of the student will be displayed after 10 seconds. And if the password does not start with A, the server will take its usual time. In a similar way, we can predict the whole password, but time-based SQL injections are very time consuming because it takes a lot of time to extract a single string of password. Following are the disadvantages of using this injection, and that is, firstly, as you can see, every time we are making a request to server, it sleeps for 10 seconds. This means it will take a hell lot of time. Secondly, the response time also depends upon the speed of the internet. If the connection drop in between, it will increase the response time and hence will lead to fault results. Thank you for watching this tutorial.